What's up guys, welcome back to Toon Duelists. Today we show you some combos and test hands of our Ojama Spright deck profile. Now I'm really excited to show this one to you guys. So in general you just have to realize that there are no real Ojama combos. Ojamas are kind of the extenders in this deck, the base for the Spright to work even better. Of course, you can bring out some Ojama Kings and Ojama Knights, so some Ojama boss monsters. So that's also why the basic combo I'm about to show you is basically a Spright combo. But nonetheless, I'm excited to show you the test hands, to show you how those two archetypes work together. And without further ado, let's dive right into it. So let's start with the basic combo. And of course, most of our combos are Spright combos. That's why we want to go through every combo you can do with one of the three Spright starting cards or starters for your combos you have. First, let's talk about Spright Blue. Of course, if you have Spright Blue in your hand, you're going to need another level 2 monster like one of your Ojamas, for example. So what you're going to do is you normal summon Ojama Green. You can now special summon Blue. Blue will activate and you can search your Spright Jet. You can now special summon Jet and Jet can search Spright Starter. You can activate Starter and special summon from your deck Spright Red. Now I would always recommend bringing out Spright Red because your opponent will rather play a monster effect during your own turn, maybe an Ash or something else, than an Imperm, but of course up to you. But I'd say bring out Spright Red. Most hand traps are monsters, so you're safe from them. So next up, what you can do, really basic, is use those two. Go into a Gigantic Spright, activate Gigantic Spright's effect, detach a material to special Spright Carrot, of course. So that's basically your combo with just Spright Blue. What do you have on field? You have a monster negate, you have a spell trap negate, and one Gigantic Spright. So you can also choose if you want to destroy the spell or trap or the monster with Spright Carrot and Red. And you can also keep them for next turn because you have two monsters to tribute. So that's the real basic combo for Spright Blue. The same thing works, of course, with your Spright Jet. If you change the positions real quick, you have a level 2 monster on the field, special summon Spright Jet. Jet will search Starter, you activate Starter, bring out Blue, and then search Red, special summon Red. So that's basically the same combo right here. And of course, if you start with your Spright Starter, you have the problem that you don't have the bridge to Spright Jet. So basically, if you start with your Spright Starter, you only bring out Blue. Blue should then search straight up Red. Or maybe also Jet if you want to search one of your other two spells, but just Spright Starter at its own is not really a combo starter. So that's the basic Spright combo for you to know. And I'd say let's see how this works together with the Ojamas in the test hands. Let's go. Alright guys, first test hand. Let's see what we can do. Alright, that's interesting. Really interesting. So in this case, first thing we're going to do is we're going to normal summon our pink Ojama. Next, we can special summon our Spright Blue, activate its effect to search our Spright Jet, of course. Next, we can special summon Jet, use Jet effect to search Spright Starter, of course. Before we activate Spright Starter and lock ourselves, we want to do one thing. We want to go into a link to into our Nightmare Phoenix. Now, Nightmare Phoenix doesn't do much right here, but we got our pink Ojama in the grave, so we can activate its effect. We draw one and then discard one card. And in this case, we're gonna discard Spright Blue. Actually, we can't use him, but we got what we wanted. We set up for Ojama Country. We can now use Country's effect, discard Ojamagic to bring back our pink Ojama, and this will of course activate Ojamagic, and we can add one green, black, and Ojama yellow to our hand. Next, we can activate Spright Starter and special summon from our deck Spright Red. We can now use Phoenix and Ojama Pink for Gigantic Spright. You can use Gigantic Sprite's effect, very important. Keep Nightmare Phoenix, so it has the attack raise. Pink Ojama leaves, and we can special summon Carrot right here. In this case, it's actually good if you summon Carrot and Red in attack position, because we still have our Gamma Burst, which our opponent doesn't know of. So we can set this one. So if our opponent attacks, we can raise the attack of all our monsters by 1400 each. So what do we have on field? We have a monster negate, a spell trap negate. One of them can be also destroying the card. And we have follow-up. Of course, we have Ojama Land, because next turn we can just discard one of our Ojamas, bring back pink, get the draw effect again. So we're still in play. And yeah, for this deck, a decent endboard in my opinion. Alright guys, test hand number 2. Let's see what we can do with those 5. Alright, let's see. So, in this case, first we're going to normal summon our Rescue Cat and activate the effect of Rescue Cat. We tribute it to summon out one Ojama Pink and one Ojama Green. Next, we're going to special summon Sprite Jet, activate its effect to search Sprite Starter right here. Not activate Starter, otherwise you're locked. We want to see what we can do first. And of course, we can also special summon Sprite Carrot right away, but in defense position this time. Now what we're going to do is we're going to use those two for, once again, our Nightmare Phoenix. Doesn't really matter, just the worst link 2 we have, and we can activate Pink Ojama's effect because of this. Draw 1 and discard 1, and we're going to discard our Sprite Jet. We already used it, don't need it. Now we activate Ojama Land. Activate Ojama Land, discard Ojamagic to bring back, let's say, Green Ojama. Ojamagic will activate, and we can add 1 yellow, 1 black, and 1 green. Alright, now we can use Sprite Starter. We can bring out Sprite Blue. Sprite Blue's effect will search red. And of course, we're going to special summon red as well. Now we can use those two for our Gigantic Spright. We use those two for Gin Buster. And we can now do another nice little thing. If I thought about that in advance, you would have to summon those in attack and this one in defense, because we can now use Gigantic Sprite's effect, detach a material, and bring out a Pink Ojama. And because Pink Ojama is on the field right now, the attack and defense of all monsters on the field are switched, which means we have a Gigantic Sprite with 1/6 instead of 3200 attack. So this one in defense would have also been better, but doesn't really matter that much. We have a Sprite Red with now 1800 points, a Sprite Carrot with now 19. This one has 1000, and this one has 1300 defense. So that's our end board. We have 1-2 monster negates. We have a spell and trap negate. We can even keep our Gigantic Sprite. We have a Ojama we can use for one of those effects. So pretty amazing. What you want to do is, of course, get rid of this monster negate first, because once it loses its 2 materials, Gin Buster is basically useless, but you can use it for Carrot or Sprite Red to tribute. And yeah, that's basically your end board. 2 monster negates, 1 spell trap negate, and switching of 80k in defense. Not that bad if you ask me, but let's see what the last test hand will show us. Alright guys, final test hand. Test hand number 3, let's see. Oh, nope, that one is too much. Got too excited when I see that polymerization. Of course, first we're going to activate our Korean unexpected die. Don't ask me where I got this and why. To special summon out a Green Ojama. Doesn't really matter too much. We can now normal summon. Or do we want to normal summon? No, I don't think we want to do this. We want to actually activate polymerization right away. Use Pink Ojama and Green Ojama from the field to go into our Ojama Knight. And with Knight's appearance on the field, we block 2 monster zones, and we can also activate the effect of Pink Ojama. So we each draw 1 and then discard 1. We get rid of 1 Sprite Blue. Amazing right here, and already blocked 2 monster zones. Next we're going to activate Sprite Starter to special summon out Jet. Jet's effect will activate, and we can add Smasher or Gamma Burst. In this case I would say probably Smasher, because our opponent knows which card we're going to add, so the whole Gamma Burst thing with letting your opponent run into your sprites won't work, but Sprite Smasher is probably the better choice right here. Next we're going to special summon Sprite Blue, effect Sprite Blue. To add up 1 Sprite Red, we special summon Sprite Red, and now you know the deal. We use those 2 for Gigantic Sprite, activate Gigantic Sprite's effect to special Sprite Carrot, and set Sprite Smasher. So what do we have on field? We have 2 monster zones blocked as long as our Ojama Knight is on the field. We have 1 monster negate, 1 spell trap negate, and 1 interruption by banishing a card our opponent controls. Now, this is, by the way, all you need to resolve all 3 of those cards. Let me explain. Let's just say your opponent activates a spell or trap first you want to negate. With Carrot, you use Gigantic Sprite. Now, you already used Carrot, so once your opponent activates a monster effect, you use Red and tribute Carrot. Alright, so it of course also works the other way around. When a monster effect is first, you use him, destroy the monster, and then when a spell is activated, you tribute summon your Sprite Red. And only now, when all of the other 2 sprites are tributed, you can activate Smasher, banish Carrot and Sprite Red, for example, from the grave, to banish another card of your opponent. So 2 negates, 1 interruption. Not that bad, if you ask me. Guys, that's it for today's video. I really hope you enjoyed. Of course, as I said, the Ojama Spright deck has a surprisingly good grind game. You can build up some great negates. Of course, if the Sprite engine goes off, you'll basically have a monster and a spell trap negate at least. And yeah, pretty amazing deck in my opinion. Also, just have to mention this, one of the best designed archetypes in my opinion, but in totally different directions. I already talked about how goofy and funny I think the Ojamas all are, and Sprite is in my opinion one of the best designed archetypes ever. Those little thunder demons, elves, I don't know, in those clothings, just amazing. Now, as always, let me know what you think about this deck in the comments. Do you have any suggestions? As I already said in the deck profile, I decided not to play the ABC Dragon Buster package. If you want to know why, go check out the deck profile. I explained it there in the outro. Guys, if you like the content, please consider liking and subscribing. This would really mean a lot to us. Let me know what you think about this deck profile, and the next poll for the next profile is already up, so leave your vote there. And until next time, have a good one.